Welcome. Have you ever wondered what a post-apocalyptic world looks like through Canadian lenses? Today, we're bringing you the top 10 Canadian post-apocalyptic movies and series, showing dark visions of the future, rugged landscapes, and intense survival struggles. From icy wastelands, cinema knows how to captivate and surprise. Number 10. Between. A mysterious epidemic breaks out in the small town of Pretty Lake, which without warning begins to take the lives of anyone over the age of 21. The merciless virus leaves no shadow of hope, and residents are forced to watch as each adult dies in horrific agony. The government quickly cuts Pretty Lake off from the rest of the world, locking the young residents in a death trap where there is neither help nor rescue. Chaos, desperation, and fear grow with each passing day as children and teenagers are left relying on themselves to survive and discover what the source of the deadly plague is. They can trust no one, not each other, nor the government that has abandoned them. Every step in this grim reality could be their last. Number 9. Ravenous. Deep in the desolate Canadian forests, a plague is spreading, turning people into soulless, insatiable beasts. Small, quiet towns, once full of life, are now deserted, and the streets and houses are lined with the terrifying shadows of those who have succumbed to the murderous virus. A handful of survivors, separated by death and despair, seek refuge in the shade of the trees, trying to escape the hungry infected. Every move they make betrays their presence. Every whisper betrays their fear. At night, the forest is filled with echoes of terrified moans, and traces of blood at dawn tell stories of quiet, desperate clashes for survival. Nature, formerly man's ally, now becomes his prison, and the forest, from which there is no exit, turns into a maze of fear and bloodlust. In this dark reality, there are no more traces of former humanity, only emptiness and a merciless hunt remain, in which every step may be the last. Number 8. The Colony. In a world frozen to death, where survival is nearly impossible, humanity has hidden deep below the surface in dark, harsh bunkers. The temperature outside has dropped so low that just going to the surface means certain death. Colony 7, one of the few remaining enclaves, is struggling with starvation, disease, and growing tensions between the survivors. When they receive a distress signal from a neighboring bunker, they decide to send a group to discover what happened there. On the spot, however, they find something far more terrifying than loneliness and cold. Human desperation has turned into brutal madness. Those who survived in Colony 5 have become bloodthirsty beasts, craving human flesh. Instead of rescue, an indescribable horror awaits them, and escape from this icy abyss becomes almost impossible. Time is running out, and each successive step brings them closer to the inevitable end. Number 7. Into the Forest. Deep in the rugged Canadian woods, two sisters, Nell and Eva, live far from civilization in a house located in the middle of nowhere. Unexpectedly, the world they know is plunged into darkness. A catastrophic power failure cuts them off from the outside world. The lack of electricity, food, and water begins to rob them of hope. The silence of the forest is filled only by the menacing sounds of the night, and the boundless darkness becomes increasingly frightening. As the harsh conditions peel away the sisters' last layers of comfort and confidence, deep-seated fears awaken between them. Faced with an unknown threat, Eva and Nell must confront not only the emptiness of the world around them, but also their inner demons. Each night becomes more difficult, and the line between the real world and their paranoia begins to blur. Survival turns into a nightmare, and the forest itself seems to drag them into its dark, unrelenting abyss. Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. Something monstrous is about to begin in the heart of Raccoon City. The once bustling city is now permeated with silence and fear, and the night reveals the dark secrets of the Umbrella Corporation, whose sinister experiments have turned residents into bloodthirsty monsters. Claire Redfield returns to the city to discover the truth about what happened here, but what she discovers is worse than her worst nightmare. Along with a group of survivors, including her brother Chris, Officer Leon S. Kennedy, and several others desperately fighting for their lives, Claire makes her way through eerie corridors and dark streets, where death lurks at every turn. It's not just ruthless zombies that are their enemies. Far more terrifying creatures lurk in the shadows, terrifying mutants created by toxic experiments that know no mercy. Raccoon City is now a hell on Earth, a place where the living can become victims at any moment, and hope for rescue dwindles as the sun rises. In this city, death is not the worst fate. The real nightmare is just beginning. Number 4. Turbo Kid. In a world devastated by the apocalypse, resources are scarce, and water is a priceless treasure. Amidst the rubble and radioactive waste, a young boy clings to hope, reading old superhero comics that inspire him to believe in something beyond the brutality around him. When he stumbles upon a superhero suit, he transforms into Turbo Kid, a fearless fighter willing to confront Zeus, a psychopathic tyrant who rules with merciless cruelty. Together with his companion Apple, the boy learns that friendship is a powerful weapon in this brutal wasteland. Together, they face unimaginable dangers in a battle where survival means everything. Number 3. ARQ. In a dark, isolated lab cut off from a world destroyed by war over resources, a young man awakens disoriented and terrified. Outside, nothing remains but the ruins of civilization. Inside, the smell of oil and rust fills the air, and the generator's flickering lights are the only signs of life. He quickly realizes he's trapped in a time loop. Each time he dies, he's forced to relive the same nightmare, starting from the same moment. Each cycle brings brutal intruders into the lab, seeking the ARQ technology responsible for this endless torment. As he relives his death over and over, his mind begins to unravel. His only ally is his former partner, though each loop reveals darker secrets about their past, leaving him unsure if he can truly trust her. Number 2. Pontypool. In the frigid Canadian town of Pontypool, it all starts with an ordinary morning at the local radio station. At first, it's just strange, chaotic reports of crowds of people acting as if they're running amok. But the situation quickly takes a frightening turn. The journalists discover that something inexplicable is turning the residents into bloodthirsty creatures, not through a virus, but through language. Infected words are spreading over the radio, and every sentence spoken could be the last. At a closed radio station, the team tries to figure out how to fight the invisible threat. Words, which have always been their tool, now become a weapon against them. The more they try to communicate with the outside world, the closer they come to their own madness. Number 1. Travelers. In a dark future, humanity is on the brink of extinction. The world is destroyed, technology has failed, and resources have run out. In a desperate attempt to save themselves, the last survivors invent a way to send the minds of people from the future into the bodies of contemporaries just before they die. These new travelers have one task: to change the course of events to prevent an impending disaster. They operate in the shadows, hiding their identities, knowing that one mistake could end their mission forever. Every decision, every action carries risks, and their greatest enemy becomes time, which flows uninterruptedly toward the inevitable. That's all for the Canadian post-apocalyptic productions worth watching. Which vision of the end of the world would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments and share which of these films left the biggest impact on you.